Why do we do stuff like that? Because we want to challenge the next generation to word-filled lives. Why? And this is where we need to open our Bibles. And this is what I want you to think about, because we're so insulated in America. If you open to Matthew 24, I want to show you what Jesus warned most about. You know, everybody, when they think of prophecy, we're thinking about, what's going to happen with Russia? Well, we already know Russia survives, right? They're at the very end of prophetic history. We're not so sure where we are, but Russia is there, and so is Iran. And so are all the Muslim satellite nations of the old Soviet Union. And so is all of Northern Africa. They're all mentioned in Scripture. We're not, probably, but they are. It's not important to worry about that. This is what's important for us, because we need to do something while we're here. And look at what Matthew 24 says. Jesus said this in verse 5, "For many will come in my name, saying that I am the Christ, and will deceive many." Wow. Keep going to verse 11. "And then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many." And keep going down to verse 24 of Matthew 24. "For false Christs and false prophets will rise up and show great signs and wonders, to deceive, if possible, even the elect." Wow. Jesus warned most that the greatest danger facing believers today would be deception. And have you thought, in just our little lifetime, is the iPhone, was it born in 07? Does anybody know? When was the iPhone born? Is it 09, 07? Do you know what I'm talking about? This thing that's in most of your pockets? What year? 07. So in 16 years, the whole world has changed. This thing, I have a 1 terabyte, 14 teraflop camera. This thing is a 14 teraflop. That means it can do trillions of calculations per second. Did you know that the US government did not have a computer this powerful in the 1990s? And I have one in my pocket. We weren't doing teraflop computing back in the 90s, other than at Los Alamos and Oak Ridge, and maybe, wherever the Russians make their atomic bombs. This has happened so quickly. I don't think, most of us, it's just like we're riding the wave. Now, anyone can deceive everyone instantly. Have you seen how quickly riots form everywhere? Do you see how quickly public opinion? Right now, I just read in the news today in Bloomberg that some prominent person said that they're ashamed to drive a Tesla because of the conduct of the man that started that company. And it's causing people to stop buying cars just like that. That's how fast that thing in our pocket or in your purse or on your desk is affecting the world. Can you imagine, as soon as what ancient Romans used to say about Christians? Do you know what caused the persecution of Christians? It said that they were haters of humanity. What does that mean? They wouldn't go to the games at the Colosseums and at the amphitheaters. Christians wouldn't go because there was gratuitous bloodshed, because there was murder, gladiators murdering each other, because there were animals, harming people, slaves. They would throw slaves out there and let the animals chase them. And because Christians wouldn't go, they became branded as haters of humanity. The second thing is they wouldn't go along with the festivals of Roman, culture. And the festivals involved a lot of things. I just taught a class in Romans and Galatians in the city of Rome, and one of the field trips we went to the museums. The museums of Rome are incredible museums, and one of them was an exhibit of how those who followed Bacchus, the god of revelry and wine and everything, how they would get drunk and run into the woods and do whatever drunk people do when they take their clothes off and run into woods. And it was all depicted in carvings. And because that became a part, the Dionysian festivals, the Bacchian celebrations, Christians wouldn't do that. So they were haters of humanity. Then people would listen to their communion services, and they would hear a pastor say, "This is my body, eat it. This is my blood." Oh, then they became They were people that were cannibal. They actually were thought to be cannibals because of the body and blood of Christ. And that spread through the empire. And the emperor was able to foment the crowds. And you all know the history of Christian martyrdom and persecution. It was public opinion that was used by the government to target a small part of the populace that was growing. Can you imagine when all of media turns against a place like this? There's a big footprint here in Kalamazoo. It's very well known. Can you imagine how rapidly that will happen? I mean, we think we're persecuted now.